Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Grant. I am 56 years old and I am currently over the 6 month hump for being sober. Today is July 1st. It is Happy Canada Day here in Canada. Canada's birthday, just a few days before July 4th for the Americans. So this video today, I want to talk about quitting alcohol forever. And I want to tell you a bit about how I'm dealing with this and how I'm approaching it, and maybe that's a way that you can approach it as well, or it might help you come up with ways that you can deal with it. There's definitely not one size fits all when it comes to quitting alcohol or any other addictive substance. And we definitely can't cover everything in one short video because honestly, I'm still figuring it out myself. It's something I think about daily. I try not to, but I do. And because the cravings are still there once in a while, but for the most part, actually a lot of days I forget, but some days I think about it and I don't have the cravings, and other days I do have the cravings. So I'm just going to look at some notes here, sorry. So quitting alcohol forever, like I said, we'd have to have many conversations one-on-one or in a group, going through quitting alcohol. How do you deal with it? How do you do it forever? How do you keep going day after day? So this video, I'm going to touch on what I'm doing at a high level, maybe come down a bit, but so let's just get. So for me, being able to quit alcohol forever means that I am able to find my happiness, inner peace. That's about it. Just being able to find happiness and being satisfied with what I have, where I'm at, and just being satisfied with my life. Not wanting for more. And I think that a lot of times people drink alcohol and it's because they think it'll give them something. They think that it'll give them this incredible life, and they'll have just awesome friends and family, and it's just, and it's not really the case. Alcohol is an addictive substance, and sometimes you'll have some good times drinking alcohol, but I think if you really sat down and if you're honest with yourself, the pros and cons of drinking alcohol, I think you would have a lot more cons than you would pros. So for me, finding my happiness, being satisfied, to get to that state, I need to be doing the things that I enjoy. This past winter, I started exercising again, trying to get healthier physically with my diet, mentally, just on how I look at life, look at my journey. So doing things you enjoy that don't include drinking alcohol. Sure, you can still go sit on a deck somewhere or sit at the beach bar, but you don't drink. Sit and just enjoy that. Enjoy that moment. Enjoy the sunshine, the friends, or family, whatever it is, and do that. So with quitting alcohol forever, in my experience so far in this short amount of time, I thought I was going down one path, but now I'm heading down another path. At first, without even realizing it, I was trying to replace drinking alcohol with other supplements, or supplementing it with other substances. For instance, I started taking lion's mane about 4 or 5 weeks ago, which I don't think has worked for me. I'm still taking it. I need to finish the bottle. It cost me, I think, $55. I want to use it right to the end just to see if I notice anything. It's supposed to make your thinking sharper and your cognitive ability and just a clearer mind. Now I do have a clearer mind, but that's probably because I'm not drinking alcohol. You know, my liver is cleaner and just yeah, it's just a thing that happens when you don't drink. You get clearer mind. You're not as foggy. You're not foggy, and you know. What else? Oh, of course, marijuana. Some people will smoke marijuana or take gummy bears, whatever, and do that. And I don't think that's a good idea either. Maybe not at first. CBD. I'm taking CBD right now. I take one shot a day. And a few years ago, I took it, and I thought it helped me feel somewhat euphoric for a few moments after I'd taken it. But now I'm taking it, and I don't feel anything, and I'm quite disappointed. And there's another $60-some that I've thrown down the toilet, in my opinion. So I won't be buying that again. But I'm going to take these things because I've purchased them, and they're not really harming me, I don't think. So, and they're not addictive. So I'm going to just get rid of them and start focusing more on my other path now, which is it's hard to explain, living a simple life. You know, we're so conditioned to buy houses and fill them with, you know, all of these things. In my house, I've got, I'm not lying, 1, 2, 3, 6 televisions. I have 3 large televisions and 3 small televisions in bedrooms. I have 3, if you count this area right here, this is like a living room type thing in the basement. And then main floor has a living room. I have a bonus room, which is halfway between the first floor and the second floor. So I've got essentially 3 living rooms. And everything's filled with stuff. We have, you know, the big pantry, and I have a 3-car garage that's packed with stuff. Although I do a lot of woodworking and things, but there's stuff in there that doesn't need to be in there. It's just taking up space, and I've been learning a bit about simple life and minimalism. I'd like to work towards having a simpler life where I don't have the responsibility of owning all of these things. I know we get attached to all of these items we think are our memories. Sure, you know, if your son and daughter made you something, or, you know, and you want to keep that, that's different than, you know, buying an ornament or something that you purchased in Mexico or wherever, Hawaii, wherever, and you bring home and you put it on the mantle or wherever. You look at it and you think, oh yeah, there's that thing I bought in Tulum or wherever. But you have the memories. You don't need that sitting there. I've got some things that my in-laws have brought back from Mexico. And honestly, they bought them, and they're nice, but I just don't need them. And now I have the responsibility of making sure they don't get broken and they get dusted, and I don't want that. I want more free time. I want less items to be responsible for. I'd like to use my money for purchasing moments, going out for supper, going on vacation, but you don't have to buy all of the trinkets. Go and have a good time, spend the extra money and upgrade in the hotel or the plane or whatever. You know, have those moments. Do that, that bonding instead of buying items. And I definitely got caught up in that my whole life. And now maybe it's a midlife thing. I have no idea. I think it's a bit of a movement now. When I look on YouTube, there's a big community around the simple life and minimalism and, different ways to approach that. But that's what I'm working towards right now. And in some way that makes me feel happy. Because someday I picture myself having free time, being able to get in my vehicle and just drive, 1,000 kilometers or miles away, visit somewhere for a week, take my time, tour around, and then come back. And then if I don't want to do anything for a few months, don't. Work in the garden out back, or do these things. Not have to spend all my days working full time with a side hustle, cleaning the house, taking kids here, doing this. I don't want to do that. I'd rather go take my family out to supper and not have anything to do the rest of the weekend. Relax, go for a walk, exercise, then go for another walk, then sit outside, enjoy the sun. Go tobogganing in the winter if you have snow. So that's what I'm doing now. I was on kind of two different paths there. I was really trying to focus on, okay, if I'm not drinking alcohol, what am I going to do? What am I going to drink or take, or to get through that and get over it? For some reason in my head, that's what I thought was the right thing. But now I'm slowly moving on to this other path where I'm wanting to live a simpler life, and without those things, I want to be clean, lean and clean. I'm not lean. I won't be lean for quite a while. I'm 5'8" and 225 pounds, so it's going to take me a while to be lean. I don't know if I have the body structure for leanness, but we'll see. If I can get under 200 pounds, if I can hit 196, I'll be very happy. We'll see, though. So those are some things you can do for quitting alcohol forever. I think that when we quit alcohol, it's a lifelong journey because it's addictive. It doesn't mean you're an alcoholic and you're labeled that way for the rest of your life. You're just someone who drank and then you don't. If someone like I smoked cigarettes from 16 to 21, I'm not really. Nobody would call me an ex-smoker or a smokeaholic or whatever you can call someone that used to smoke cigarettes. So I don't think we need to label ourselves as being alcoholic. It's just something you did, now you don't. It's like if you used to eat potato chips all the time, they don't agree with you now, and now you don't eat them. You don't need to label yourself an ex-chipaholic or whatever. It's kind of silly, but I hope you get my drift there on that. Lastly, for happiness, just being more appreciative. I might have mentioned this already, but just appreciating the moments. I know I've mentioned it in previous videos. I've always kind of appreciated things, but maybe not as much as I should have over the years. And I really try to appreciate the day. I find myself, I've got that mindset where I like to dwell on the past, and now that I'm getting older, I'm nostalgic about my teen years, and but as soon as I start getting depressed about that, I stop and I think of now, where I am now. This is my happiness right here, right now. Try not to think about the future too much, because then that gives you anxiety, and we don't need that. There's a lot of that in the world today, and just being appreciative of the moment. Like right now, I appreciate this. I'm able to just sit here and talk to the camera and maybe help someone, along with their journey. Helps me talk about it. I don't really talk about this much with anyone. I have let's say three people I talk to a little bit about quitting alcohol. My wife, who she hasn't said it, but I'm sure is sick and tired of hearing about it. She's nice enough to listen to me when I'm changing, when I have different thoughts, and well, now I'm thinking of this, honey. No, you know what? I learned this today. But it's good to have someone, whether she knows it or not, to just say something, even if they don't really give you, even if they just listen. I have a good buddy that will listen, but I've pulled back a bit from talking to him about it as much as I used to, because I feel like I'm being annoying now, and it's where I am in life, right? And then I have another friend that every once in a blue moon, every 6 weeks, I'll say, hey, I'm this many days sober and proud of myself. And just to, because I'm Um, I look up. He's actually a few years younger than me, and I look up to him. He doesn't know that. I wouldn't admit that to him, but um, I would admit that, but I just wouldn't come out and say it. But I look up to him as a person. He hasn't drank since he was in college. Now he's 52, I think, or 53, and he's done well in his life. He came from a different country to Canada, and he's done very well for himself. And he's a role model for everyone. He's a good person, and he's always in a good mood, and he's always positive. So it's good to have someone like that in your life, believe me. um, so quitting alcohol forever. It's possible. A lot of people have done it. My father did it. He quit when he was about 36-ish, 36, 37. He had gotten into a car accident driving drunk. Nobody was hurt. He actually made it. He hit another vehicle that was parked, drove home, and went to bed. And then I was there, and the police came to the door, a couple hours later, and asked for him, and is he home? And yep, and that was it for him. And now he is 77, I believe. So 40 years. That's for some that's a whole lifetime or more. So it is possible, and for him, he worked hard. He just retired last year. Crazy, right? He retired just before his 76th birthday. You just have to find your happiness, and your happiness might change. Mine, I think, is kind of. I think I'm zeroing in on it. I love my wife. I appreciate her. My child. I have 2 children, actually. I have one that lives with me and one that's an adult and gone. But I love them. And friends, the small amount of friends I have. I don't have many friends. Part of being a withdrawn introvert and focusing on yourself during COVID and stuff. I don't know what's happened with the world, but yeah. Just your path to happiness might change over time. It'll morph into something bigger and better. And it's kind of like setting goals, I think, where you want to get here. You see this path and you want to get to the end of that path because that's where you feel that your happiness is going to be. But as you get down that path, you see another path that maybe it's greener on that one. And now you'll go down this path, and it's. I think you can equate that to setting goals, and I don't know how, but it's just trust that it's part of the journey, and you're not alone. Everyone should do that. Just find their happiness. Sometimes it takes medication, and that's okay too. I wouldn't knock anyone for taking antidepressants, and if that's what helps you, then go for it. For myself personally, I'm trying to do it clean, and I'm not depressed. I'm just speaking. It just seems like the masses of the public are somewhat depressed these days, and I think that has to do with things like Facebook and Instagram, and I don't know. I don't use Twitter, or TikTok. You see these people living, pretending to live these awesome lifestyles, and some people do live awesome lifestyles, but it might only be awesome for a few years, and then it's not anymore. So you need to take your own journey. Hopefully this is rambling on has helped you somewhat, and if you're still here, I really appreciate that. I love that I'm able to talk, and even if only a handful of people will listen to the video, if it helps one person, that's what I'm doing this for. And 2 people. It's helping me, and if it can help you, then that's good too. So anyways, take care. I will be back soon with another video. If you haven't already, please like, please subscribe, and take care.